How everybody doing today? Come on in and tell a friend. Because right now, we're at the point of no return. And I mean that. Now, when I say we're at the point of no return, that's just what I mean. There's no going back, people. You know, there was a time that every human being born onto this earth had what they call sovereignty. And sovereignty was your God-given right. It gave you the right to explore all land, seas, and air onto this earth. It gave you the right to search for land, to find that land, and if no one has already laid claim to it, to lay claim to that land, to work that land, and defend that land. What sovereignty gave you the right to come and go as you please. It gave you the right to just be. It gave you the right to raise your family as you felt fit to grow your food as you felt fit to raise your cattle as you felt fit to build your house as you felt fit to. But somewhere down the line, a group of individuals aided and assisted in deceiving us and convincing us that it was in our best to giving up our sovereignty and joining the system. You know, I think it was his last speech, if my memory served me right. But Martin Luther King stated in his last speech before he was assassinated that I believe that I have led my people into a burning house. Now, one of the things that Martin Luther King marched for, that was a big thing that he felt the need for the people to be involved in, was the system. Integrating. But it's really the system. And if that's what he was marching about, to have the right to be in the system, to be integrated into the system, then what other burning house could he be talking about? And so with joining the system came rules and regulations on how you as a human being should live your life. Raise your kids, grow your food, educate yourself and your kids. They even came with laws and policies on how you should take care of yourself health-wise. Taxes, the way you spend your money, the way you make your money, how your marriage becomes one and how it can separate. All laws and policies set forth by the government of men. No longer do you have your God-given sovereignty. No longer. That's why you have a social security number. You are a part of the system. So after they attacked our sovereignty, they attacked our naturality. Telling you how you can and cannot grow food. giving you synthetic medicine. When we had home remedies, natural home remedies to stop a headache, a toothache, an earache, an eye ache, anything, a cold, a flu, a fever. They attacked our naturality, even to the point where human beings, ourselves, themselves, are attaching unnatural things to their body and putting unnatural things inside of their body. They tampered with the water. It's unnatural. Pay attention. Where can you go find a natural stream of water? I'm not saying everybody can. I'm sure some people out there that has the ability. But where can the average person go find a natural stream of water? I'm going to tell you where. The store. And once they start adding all that alkaline and minerals and this and adding all of this, it's no longer natural water. No matter what they tell you the benefits of drinking that water is, it's not natural water. The fruits and vegetables, all GMOs. Hell, even the marijuana. How you think they keep coming up with these different crossbreeds and these funny names? That's not natural marijuana. They making animals. Every year they come up with a new dog. So after deceiving us as humanity of giving up our sovereignty and convincing us that taking an unnatural way of living only takes us to one other place. If your sovereignty is gonna see, it's a domino effect. So first they convinced you of giving up your sovereignty. And with them doing that, now they was able to set forth rules and regulations, laws and policies on how you can do things naturally, if that makes sense. Oh, don't give your child that. If we find out that you're giving your child these type of remedies or doing your own doctoring at home or whatever, we can find you, lock you up, and take your child. Oh, you can't educate your child like this. If your child ain't learning this, whether at home or at school, and we can track that work to see that that's what they learning. We can say you're neglecting your child or something like that. Killed all the good soil, ran all the farmers out of business, took all the natural seeds and took them to a vault over in Switzerland or Sweden, and gave you unnatural fruits and vegetables. Growing these animals that we are eating in an unnatural way. We giving up or have given up our naturality. And I ain't knocking nobody what they want to do to themselves. If that's how you want to do, attach different things to your body that's unnatural, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you that it's pleasant to the eye. I'm not going to sit back and lie. But who said your destruction had to be ugly? No one stated that. They just said the devil was here to kill, steal, and destroy. They did not say it had to be ugly. No one stated that. The devil deals in beauty. But what type of beauty? Unnatural beauty. Your destruction does not have to be ugly. So now, if they didn't get those two out the way, even the oil, synthetic 9, all that. They got synthetic diamonds, jewelry. So now, if they didn't get those two out the way, you might ask yourself, what's next? I'm going to tell you what's next. Your thoughts. Yeah, that's what I said. Your thoughts. Because now you have developed an unnatural way of thinking and treating each other. Your thoughts. What you think the social media project was really about? It was about your thoughts. It was about being able to do what the creator can do unnaturally. Do we forget that the devil want to be like the creator? Wants to emulate, imitate? And if they say that the creator, that God knows all and sees all, can read your mind and your heart, well, can read your mind and know your heart, because that's a natural connection that God has with you, because God is your creator. The devil don't have that connection with you. So the devil has to find ways to gain those same abilities in an unnatural way. So they gave us the social media project. And with the social media project, it gave every individual on the face of this earth a platform to tell it all. Every thought. Do you know what your greatest weapon against the devil is besides the creator, besides God? Do you know? Do you know that your greatest weapon against the devil is your ability to think without being heard? It's your ability to think without being heard. That's what they're aiming to get at now. That's what they're aiming to get at. That's why this technology and devices is getting closer and closer and closer to your motherfucking head. I mean, you do keep the camera right in front of your face, right? I know sometimes you get on social media just like me. Like, where's the ceiling? Like, there's no ceiling to what people, there's no, that, that I'm speechless because there's no limit to what people will say and do on social media. There's no limit. I know you even said to yourself, it can't get no, I can't see nothing more, out there than this. And then you look 20, you don't even have to 24 hours, not even 24. You will see something that go up to the next level. And I remember when the social media thing really started going and people was on there doing little ratchet stuff and dances and saying little stuff. And, we thought that was like, whoa, I can't believe they said or did that on here. But even those people now, if you see some of those people on social media now, even they saying like, damn, where's the ceiling? We thought what we was doing was wild. Like, there's literally no ceiling. Everyone is speaking their mind immediately. Soon the thought comes to their mind, they immediately put it on social media. Thus forth giving up their ability to think without being heard. Every time you look on social media, somebody crying, telling their happiness, their sadness, their breakups, they gets together, what they just did, what they just ate, how they feel, what they got to do tomorrow, what they doing next week, what they wearing, what they might wear, what they might not wear. Like, everything. Every time something comes to their mind, they put it on social media. So it's a way of having a God-like ability for the devil without naturally having it. How can I get them to tell me what's on their mind? Since I can't read it, how can I get them to tell it to me? Therefore, you have the social media project. Let's get started.
A year ago, I established the National Political Congress of Black Women's Entertainment Commission, headed by Dionne Warwick, Melba Moore, Terry Rossi of Billboard magazine, and Vaughn Alexander, our director. It had one primary goal: the task of examining and developing strategies and solutions for reshaping and maintaining positive images to preserve the dignity and the heritage of our youth, instead of continuously exposing our youth to negative media that distorts their images of male-female relationships, that undermine.
Stop. Did I not say that in my first video? That the male and female relationship right now is terrible. I mean, terrible. I'm gonna say this: if you got somebody and they love you for you, and you can deal with them, and the good outweigh the bad, and try to work it out, because getting back out there, it is terrible. If you are not built like that, man, it's terrible. The amount of disrespect that men have for women and women have for men right now is terrible. I'm going to keep saying it. They took the love out the music. And it's killing our society, because it's putting things to a halt. And it's creating a bad energy. And even if it doesn't get us right now, us that's as adults, you know, it's gonna trickle down. It's gonna trickle down to the kids, and they're gonna be so standoffish with each other. Oh wow, you know, kids is like 10 years old right now and under that's taking this in, that we feeding these bad habits to, on how we treat each other as men and women. Oh man, they gonna be in full force with it.
The stability of our families, communities, and nation by encouraging violence, abuse, and sexism as acceptable behaviors, and perpetuates the cycle of low self-esteem of African American youth. Thus, images that degrade our dignity and are an insult to our children, our families, and communities concern us too. And that includes all this gangster rap and misogynist lyrics, music that glorifies and promotes violence with guns, knives, or drugs, and denigrates and defames women. And with the release of Snoop Doggy Dogg's debut album, Doggy Style, that includes artwork that is nothing but pornographic smut, available to any child to go in and buy with the album and with a record. That has got to stop. You want to know why I'm on the warpath? When I saw this, I said, that's it. We march again, and we're going to keep on marching and demonstrating the truth stuff.
Sound like the straw that broke the camel's back to me. And you know, this was in 1994. And she's stung by what she's seeing. Cartoon images. Imagine if she was around today with a healthy mind, with a healthy awareness. Man, it'll probably give her a heart attack. This was the beginning. This was the time. You know, when they always tell you there's a window of opportunity to make something happen or to prevent something from happening, this was that window. This was that window. This was the opportunity that we missed to stop all this shit. This was that opportunity. This was that window. And we missed it. So what she's looking at now, and speaking about at that point in time, is nothing compared to what's going on today. I mean, she would probably just drop dead immediately. Seriously.
For 400 years, profit came before principle, as black women bore the brunt of slave masters' degradation. But even through the Middle Passage, the peculiar institution of slavery, the spirit of black women and their families could not be broken. Today, however, through the lyrics of rappers who display no respect for women, no respect for families, and little respect for themselves, the souls of our sisters are being destroyed, and so too their progeny. All of us have watched.
Did she lie? Did she lie? Let me ask you a question. Let's say me and you having a conversation, face to face. I'm looking over your shoulder, you looking over my shoulder, whether you're a man or a woman. And I look over your shoulder and I say, damn, that's a badass bitch. That bitch look good as hell. When you turn around, what do you expect to see? Now, you can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me. I'm going to say that again. If me and you having a face-to-face conversation, staring at each other, looking over each other's shoulders, and I look over your shoulder and I say, that's a badass bitch right there. That bitch look good as hell. When you turn around, what do you expect to see? You can't lie to me. What do you expect to see? If you saying a female dog, you a lie. If you saying a female dog, you a lie. You're going to expect to see, when you turn around, a female human being, period. I don't care if you like what I said that got you to turn around, or to put that image in your head to expect to see something that when you turn around, but nevertheless, that's what's going to come to your mind. That's what you are going to expect to see. I don't care her color, shape, or size. You're going to expect to see a female human being. Period. Which means that female human beings have become the face of the word bitch, but the textbook definition is a female dog. Is a female dog. One day I was somewhere and I was interacting with this female and business, and I was like, thank you, ma'am. Just said thank you, ma'am. And she was like, don't say that. She's like, that make me feel old. She's like, I'd rather you call me a bitch. No lie. No lie. And this lady was like at least in her mid-40s. This wasn't no young woman, no teen or no early 20s type of thing. No, this woman was like in her mid to late 40s. She told me, I would rather you call me a bitch. And this was a Caucasian woman. This was a Caucasian woman. Which means that it has become that the female human being has become the face of the word. That's what that means now. I was watching something on YouTube, and they had this one guy go on a little speed type of date with like 20 women, and the young dude was talking to one of the females who came up, and he was like, what if I get mad and I call you a bitch? She was like, that'll turn me on. Then one of the girls he said it to, she was like, I wouldn't get mad because I am a bitch. This is no lie. Now these was like some younger girls, like maybe from 25 down to maybe 20 or something. I don't know. But I didn't really see none of them that was like really that oldish, up in age. But still. She said, I'm not going to get mad because I am a bitch. And the other one said, that'll turn me on. Now that was two color girls who said that. But I just told you about the Caucasian woman in her 40s that said that. So the color does not matter. Women have become the face of the word bitch. To the point now, it's a badge. They proud of it. It's crazy.
As the industry have grown, we have watched not really knowing, not really understanding, not first realizing the damage that is inherent in what some thought were merely words. Now we see the direct and indirect effects. We see the rise in murders, in abuse, in batterings, teen prostitution and teen suicide. We hear the wailing mothers, the grieving sisters, the tormented brothers and fathers and children planning their own funerals with pink dresses and pink caskets. We feel their hopelessness and helplessness, and we embrace their pain. Yet in the midst of these tragedies, others still want to argue about the First Amendment right to freedom of speech, a freedom they have embraced to call African American women hoes and bitches and sluts and even worse. As I see it, there are three things wrong.
Now, what you must understand is there's a start to everything. And at this point in time, they started with the so-called black woman. You know, it was the easiest route to take, so to speak. But they knew it would spread to every type of woman on this earth. They knew that, but they had to start somewhere. And you start with the most influential people. The people that can take something and make it seem cool. You know, so even though that's where they started at, were really pushing the disrespect towards women, they knew that it would spread to all women eventually. But you have to start somewhere, even when you're doing wrong. So like I said, all women are the face of that word now, whether they like it or not. And apparently, a lot of them like it. It turns a lot of them on. It makes a lot of them feel accepted. It makes a lot of them feel loved. And I ain't here to bash you or act goody two-shoe. Everybody's at fault. Everybody got deceived and fell into them ways of thinking and being and acting towards each other. But who engineered it?
Wrong with gangster rap and misogynist lyrics. It is obscene. It is obscene. It is obscene. In my view, it was never intended by the founding fathers of this nation that First Amendment rights were meant to protect obscenities. And if there were founding mothers, it would have been more explicit about what the First Amendment meant. Obscenity, I'm not sure I know that song. Obscenity has long been an exemption. Obscenity, and we have the Attorney General here, I believe it's right. Obscenity has long been an exception to free speech. If the filth that is portrayed in these gangster rap videos and art is not obscene, then I submit that nothing is obscene. In 1992,
I'm going to say it again. If she was around right now with a healthy mind and awareness, man, that'll take that lady down. Man, it'll hurt that lady's heart. It'll hurt her heart. Because she tried. It'll hurt her heart. She think what she's seeing and speaking on right now is obscene. She hasn't seen anything compared to what we are seeing right now. That's why I say there's no turning back. Look at what she's talking about. She's talking about cartoon pornographic images, cartoons. She's talking about guys speaking on guns. Them guys wasn't even really showing guns too much in them videos. You know, they had a few, you know, album covers and stuff. But right now, you can add up all the guns and videos and album covers that was shown in this one year, 1994. And I can show you one video with them many guns in that one video right now. You can add up all the guns that was ever shown in that one year, 1994. And I can, however amount of guns that is, I can show you one video that has more or just about the same amount of guns in one video. So we missed that window of opportunity. We're at the point of no return.
The Canadian Supreme Court ruled that it was more important to ban speech that is dehumanizing to women than to protect free speech. African American women have always been the protector and nurturers of their homes, their families, and their communities. We march for our rights to Selma. I was there with Dr. King. We're beaten with billy clubs and we're bitten with dogs unleashed by bull counters. We will not tolerate injustice and insults from our worst enemies then, and we sure ain't gonna accept insults from our youth now.
I'm sorry, Mama, but they did.
Okay? Although the MPCBW condemns the actions of those young people who produce such music, we also realize that we must provide other channels for them to use these multiple talents they have in a positive and wholesome way. After all, they are not the root causes of the complex socioeconomic forces that are manifested in such vile entertainment. Those problems were there long before many of them were born. Those problems must be addressed if the communities that produce those gangster rappers ought to survive and thrive. We know some of the problems, and now on behalf of NPCBW,
you know, some of those problems came from an outside source, outside force. That energy that you know, they say you got the machine behind you. Well, you know, what she didn't realize at this point in time, that there was a major machine behind pushing this. Much more power and wealth than she could imagine. I don't think she knew exactly what she was going up against. It's a lot of money involved. And those forces, they hang in the shadow. They there, they always been there. They hang in the shadows. And she just didn't realize how much money was involved here. I mean, once it hit the West Coast, it was a wrap. And then when it finally did get back to the East Coast, you had artists on the East Coast that was now trying to outdo the West Coast artists on who was the bigger gangsters. So there was no more KRS-One and LL. You had your Biggie Smalls and your Nas and your Jay-Z. You know, you had a different breed of rappers. And they was talking just as gangster as the West Coast artists. But they wasn't before it went over to the West Coast. Once they seen that was selling and the machine was behind that type of music, then they adopted it. And then when they wanted it to get a little bit flamboyant, they swung it down to the south, to Atlanta. And now you get what you have today. So it's a blueprint. It's not happening on accident. This was all perfectly planned.
We'll offer up some solutions so that we can help turn this nation around and communities around. First of all, we must use all means possible to eradicate and ban the sale of illegal guns. We must remove guns from the hands of our children and our gangsters who are so proud of the power of the gun. That's number one. Number two.
Could you imagine she could see some of the videos with the guns they be having now today? 100-shot drums, clips all taped to clips, all type of different gadgets hooked on up to the gun, modified. Could you imagine? She talking about revolvers, 10-shot, 17-shot 9s, Tech 9s, shotguns, you know, old school AKs. If she could see the guns that these kids have right now, switches, it'll break her heart. Man, we lost that one,
Two,
mama.
we must reinvent our educational system to include more vocational training to provide a successful transition between school and work for those who will not continue to go on to college. We must extend the school hours in the school year so that latchkey children teachers will be from their schools instead of from the street. We must provide educational opportunities for our prisoners so that they will be productive citizens when their tour of prison is over. I met with Senator Carol Moseley Braun, and I was very pleased to amend what she was introducing to the Senate, not only educational opportunities, but training opportunities as well. And she has proposed mandated training for all prisoners in education.
Now,
We must provide...
see, Dolores, now you don't have to say everything you want to say this time. You'll get to talk again.
Well, I've just got one more page, and may I finish? I wait a long time to come, and let me just finish it. Please.
Okay, well, if you
I only got one more little page here.
All right.
To provide community...
Now, whoever that lady was that said that, and while you got this other lady turning over there smiling, laughing. Now, if any of those people in that room who are taking this as a joke are still alive or can do this again, do you think they would have tried to rush her? Do you think she would have made that statement? Because when you come with a certain level of truth and you doing your best to try to get people to see the danger that we are facing, it always seems like this person is crazy or delusional. They're just talking the talk. Want to be seen, want to be heard. Now, she wanted to stop her from speaking on ways that we can prevent this type of behavior from affecting our youth. And it's crazy how somebody will stop you from saving their life. It's crazy how somebody will sit there and stop you from saving their life. Now, I bet it ain't a person in that room who ain't laughing and smiling and taking this as a joke, who wasn't affected later on down the line about what she said would happen. I bet you it's not one person in that room where they have not lost a family member or a loved one or a friend or a co-worker or somebody to the lunacy that she said would develop if we allowed this to happen. I bet you. And if I bet you, if any of them are still alive right now with a sound mind, I bet you they regret this moment unless they was in on it. And that's what Miss Dolores Tucker had failed to, bless her soul, rest her soul. But she didn't realize exactly what she was facing. Everybody in that room ain't her friend. There's a lot of people in there in bed. With the enemy. There's a lot of people that see this as an opportunity and see her as someone that's trying to block that opportunity. And it's just sad that everybody in there was so ignorant to the fact that what they knew was true, though, deep down. But I guaranteed you, majority of them has been affected by what she said would come to be. Because that's just how it goes.
Provide community outreaches so that our youth who have embraced the gangs as their only family will find refuge in community institutions, neighborhood academies, and educational programs. Convert our unused military bases into institutions of peace, where men and women can be trained to become productive citizens who will contribute to the well-being of this nation, expand our nation's infrastructure where needed, and make this nation a powerful global force. I stand before you today with millions of my sisters to say that no one has the right to degrade, denigrate, dishonor, or disrespect African American women. No one has the right to poison our children's mind and destroy our African cultural heritage. That is why the women of NPCBW and our supporters will demonstrate. We'll go to jail again and again and again, just as we did when we demonstrated at the Wiz in December and Sam Goody yesterday. No one and no industry will be allowed to continue this social and psychological genocide of the women and girls of this nation.
Look at her face over there.
Stand before you today with the spirits of Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Fannie Lou Hamer, and Mary McLeod Bethune to say this: we will defy any force that will disrespect us and our families, and I apologize, Mary Berry, my good friend and founder.
So that was Mary Berry. Take that image off. So that was Mary Berry. And Mary Berry was, I think, mayor or some type of council woman from back in the day. And best believe she regret that. Want to say rest in peace to Miss Dolores Tucker, Cynthia Dolores Tucker. She did her best. She tried. The warning come before the storm. The warning comes before the storm. Everybody knows that. So today, we give Miss Cynthia Dolores Tucker her flowers. And it's, one of the things that's really so sad is that, and I'm not finna play, we took the word or the side of some gangbangers, of some drug dealers, of some thugs, of some pimps, of some ignorant, destructive motherfuckers. No respect, no community pride, bad influences. We took the word over some ruffians over a sister that was born in 1927. We took the word of some ruffians over a sister that was born in 1927. Because that's what we did. We took their word. The music and the images and the sounds that they gave us, we ran with it. We repeated it. We played it. We listened to it. We acted on it. We treated each other like that. It became a culture. Now it's a culture. Now it's the thing to do, or you're not cool. We took their word and they side over a sister that was born in 1927, who was able to see what was going to take place if we allowed this. And we missed that window. But nevertheless, I greatly appreciate all that Miss Cynthia Dolores Tucker tried to do and that she has done. Rest in peace. And the fight continues. You know? And I want to say one thing. Rock and roll was no better. Now, this gangster rap or style of music affected so-called black people and communities a certain way. But rock and roll did the same thing to white families as well. I'm gonna make a video on rock and roll because I'm sure that heavy metal, because I'm sure that there was a person on that side of the fence, just like Cynthia Dolores Tucker, whether it was a male or female, who was trying to warn those people the same thing, that what that type of rock and roll, satanic rock and roll would do and what it'll produce. Depressed kids that want to kill their parents, kids that just want to kill animals, kids that want to shoot up schools, kids that want to take all type of drugs, overdose. I like a lot of satanic worshiping, devil worshiping. That heavy metal and that hardcore sound of rock and roll produced a lot of that. So, you know, rock and roll ain't getting away either. That form of rock and roll is not getting away. Because I'm sure it was somebody over there saying the same thing about that form of rock and roll. That if we allow this into our household, we will regret it. A lot of cults developed from that rock and roll. Satanic groups and things of that nature, all from that rock and roll. Sitting up there on stage drinking blood and biting the heads off bats and pentagrams everywhere and devil horns, and everybody in there just wearing the blackest of black and pierced tongues and split tongues, and going in these kids' room, it's all black in there and everything is all depressed looking, and these golf and all of that. Yeah, that rock form of music of rock and roll did that. And I'm sure there was someone on that side of the fence that was saying the same thing. So rock and roll is not getting away. Heavy metal is not getting away. I'm on their ass too. If you didn't know, now you know. There, I fixed it. Rest in peace of Cynthia Dolores Tucker. This common sense approach. And I'm out.